Coming at you live from Studio K. You are now listening to Rambling with Ryan.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Matt Parmiter joining me again on short notice.
Happy to be here.
Appreciate it. It's nice to have... I had to put Jacob Harder on a timeout after last week.
Fell asleep there?
He literally fell asleep during the podcast. I mean, briefly, probably like a few seconds because I was keeping an eye on him. But, yeah, I mean, he claims that he was just beat. But
he was giving us the warning there when he goes into the hards. He's done.
He bought a Mickey and some, or the Coke bottles out there now. But he bought a Mickey and some Coke, and he literally finished 3/4 of that Mickey within a half an hour of starting the podcast. Plus, he'd already probably had like 5 or 6 beer after, like during and after our hockey game. Plus, just played hockey. Yeah, didn't eat.
That'll do it.
Oh man, rough. I even noticed like last night. Last night, I think I bought a growler. I had like, I think equivalent of like 4 or 5 beer. Fuck, man. I woke up and I was like, wow, what the fuck did I drink last night?
You're feeling it, eh?
It's just weird. It's just, you can just tell getting older, you just don't handle it. Sometimes it's all 6 beer is all it takes. 5, 6 beer to feel it in the morning again.
I think having a bite to eat kind of makes the whole difference in the world.
Oh,
too.
big time.
Hydration. And
eating before I like to eat before I go to bed, like if I can. Have something. Just something to get in your stomach, help soak shit up, and pop a couple Advil. But I never used to have to do that for 5 or 6 beer.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, I don't know. I just never found it necessary. So, fuck, there's just so much going on.
There's a plethora of things happening.
Plethora of things going on lately. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of it all has to do with the same stuff. Trump, refugees. Like, it's just a revolving door. But the latest, did you hear the latest about regarding Trump?
About not wanting the Muslims in America?
Yeah, but they said he was going to be disqualified from the presidency.
Oh, yeah.
Which I was looking up trying to find if that was true, and I still hadn't found it. But then also on top of that, apparently there's like a protest or like a petition in Vancouver online
that was kind of
to rename the tower.
That was the first thing that went through my mind is like people should be sitting around that building with signs saying what a fucking douchebag this guy is. Mm-hmm. You know, as Canada's letting in refugees right now. Yesterday, Trudeau was at the airport there in Toronto, and it was their first welcoming. And you know, I've been watching the news a lot lately, and I sat down and they're showing people in the airport and whatever, and they actually had security blocked off, and it was talking about the process they're going in, and a lot of Canadians still aren't happy about that, but at the same time, no one's going on air and saying, fucking
ban all Muslims.
Exile these people from Canada and put a sign on the ones that live here.
Yeah.
Like that's pushing it. Like I don't know. Some people agree with it and some people don't. And, he does have his point is correct. I mean, all the extreme terrorism's coming from Muslims at that
right now. Yes.
So at that point, yes. So is that the way to handle it? My rebuttal to that is, okay, well, what about all the terror? Like, what about all the Americans that are just shooting up schools?
But the thing
is to get rid of all the Americans out of your country?
Within their own country, it's not people. It's people from your own country. Yeah, they might be Muslim, but they're already in your country. Mm-hmm. So you really don't. I don't think it's adding any extra risk. But do you think there should be a limit on like? So you were saying people should be going down to his tower, protesting,
Absolutely.
Do you think there should be?
I don't want
be
anything
allowed
like
to
that
do that
associated in Canada. This guy's running his own campaign with money from his own company, which is, I mean, good for him. He's paying for himself.
I hope that
for all the people that support
him,
and are putting money into his bank account, like fuck you. Like I mean, that's just too much, and I would not like to see any money going into that guy's pocket coming from.
And that's what
Canadian support.
So that actually kind of leads me to what I wanted to get into. What bugs me is this idea that going on your social media and trashing whoever this person is, or getting into arguments with other people about whether he's right or wrong, or what he's right about, what he's wrong, whatever the case may be, you're not going to make anything happen.
No.
If you really want something, stop.
Go physically do something.
No, you don't even really have to physically do something. Speak with your money. Don't do anything that you know is going to benefit him in any way. Yeah. And that's what's like. And
he was getting overwhelming American support about this.
Because there's a huge part of that country that totally agrees with him, that are ignorant to a lot of things and agree with him. And I think we talked about this, it was last week or the week before, but you need to be able to at least understand, in my opinion, that those people have a point. That, yes, there is some risk with it. Mm-hmm. So when you yell and scream and just try and shut up that side, whatever side you're on, you're not helping the cause in any way. You need to at least try to, and I know it's hard when someone is saying something that you go in with that notion or that perception that they're wrong. It's very hard to see any positives in what they're saying. For sure. But you need to try.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody will do, though, because like the more you can do is as you try to listen to other sides is just gonna, people are just gonna end up agreeing, disagreeing. Yeah. And then what's happened is you're gonna be in a country where it's not that it's wrong for everybody to have different views and live in the same country, but you take like one side of that, like Canada, America, where there's tons of different cultures, and then you look at a place like Russia.
Yeah.
Where it's, you fucking come here, you're Russian, you're going to be Russian, you're going to talk Russian, you're going to work Russian, you're going to pay Russian taxes.
Yeah.
And they don't have these problems.
Yeah.
So, that's...
But I wouldn't want to live there.
I wouldn't want to live there either. So what do you do?
For the same reasons,
that exact
right?
Reason, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a catch-22 because, I agree. There are a lot of things about... The difference being Russia's been around for I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you.
Thousands and thousands of years since they got the Mongols fucking ran through Russia.
Yeah.
So that was like 700 I think AD that they went that the Mongols went through there, but it's just they have like a set culture, and
pride.
Our culture is basically, I would say, is like we're Western civilization, but we're Native American would be our background,
absolutely,
which we still kind of show support for, and
they're doing better now. At least they're he's made a lot of statements about. I know they've launched. Campaigns about the missing and murdered women or whatever, going back to 78, or they were saying the thousands, and that was a huge deal, and they're at least starting to do that. And they're also trying to get rid of some, I didn't see which laws, but I saw him giving speeches talking about how he's going to make things for the Native people in Canada that were kind of stuck in their own cultures. I think that was the biggest thing that a lot of the Native communities were mad about, is they were just trying to get it's kind of like what they did with the homeless people and kind of confine them all to East Van. Well, they were trying to confine
them all to
just to the reserve lands and have their life separately. But I mean, realistically, if that's our culture and it's going to make everyone happier, it wouldn't hurt.
I completely agree.
To make everything kind of more part of our country, right?
But that's where, so when you look at, so we're all immigrants. We're a country of immigrants as well as the States. They're a country of immigrants. Yeah. That's where the main difference is. Russia is not a country of immigrants. Russia, they've been Russia for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I don't like that argument. I've seen memes and whatever on Facebook about Putin saying, this is our country, this is how it is, you want to come here, this. And I get it. I can understand how that can speak to some people, but you also have to realize that we are completely different governments, completely different cultures. It doesn't work here like that. So
it never would have from the start. People left Europe to come to North America for reasons of getting away from shit like that, right?
Exactly.
So it would have never worked out. I have here that the official Russian Empire started in 1721. But before that, there was lots of different Tsardom of Russia. I don't know how to pronounce them.
Yeah, they had a bunch of different. I mean, if you look up like map of the world, map of, I guess that'd be Asia in 700. Like, it's pretty cool. Have you ever listened to do you listen to many podcasts? Other than Rambling with Ryan, obviously.
I listen to Rambling with Ryan once in a while, but no, I haven't really. I meant to download that app you were telling me about, but I haven't got into it. But I definitely wouldn't mind. I like listening to it when I'm at the gym. Kind of just put your phone in your pocket and have something to listen to while you're running around. Yeah.
So they were basically like tribes, right? So there's like, from what I'm looking at here, they were called. Here we go. That's better. Paleo-Siberian tribes basically occupied what is Russia now at that time. So, and then what, weren't they they went from, I'd have to get into a history of Russia.
Let's get back to Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Then
Trump,
see,
he's got to go.
I seen that. Yeah, I just wish he wasn't. I wish he just turned the knob, just like 3 or 4 notches
so
back.
Much of it too to be part of his campaign, though, right?
What?
He's just trying to be the excessive guy.
Yeah, I just think he's trying to be the complete opposite of what politicians have been for however long.
Yeah, but that seems to work.
It is working.
Like, I think the biggest thing we learned is fucking politics are turning into a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Because people want to get involved. They don't really know how.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fucking what happened with Trudeau. But they launched the campaigns to make people really hate the Conservative Party.
It wasn't even that. I think they also made people feel like they mattered more. He made people feel like, made them feel way more like what they were saying and what they wanted mattered.
Yeah.
He spoke to that.
Well, he spoke to the people who wanted that voice really well.
But right? Yeah, you can compare that, the same kind of thing, right? Trump came in and he was that different voice. He did things differently. He wasn't really slandering anybody.
All the people that hated Obama so much, many people in the States, right? Like, they hated Obama. They hate,
I don't know. I don't understand how. I can understand people not liking everything he's done, or thinking he hasn't done enough, or whatever the case may be. You're allowed to be critical of the person running your country. You voted him in. But number one, if you haven't voted, you really shouldn't have a say. And how you can criticize someone who is in one of the hardest positions that
you're taking over from fucking George Bush too, right?
Yeah.
How much worse could he have done?
Well, that's the thing. Everybody loved him in his first term.
Bush?
And then, no.
Obama,
because of who he was following, right? Then he gets in and he does his 4 years and people are okay. But then it's like, okay, so what have you done?
Yeah.
Like, what have you done for me lately kind of mentality. And I think you're seeing it with Obama now. All of these things he's trying to do, he's becoming more accessible. He did the Mark Maron podcast. He did the Vice documentary about the prison systems.
It's a lot more. I see him doing a lot more like celebrity stuff than presidential stuff.
That as well, but he's really now. He did Obamacare's. Yeah, it might not have worked, but he's trying. I mean, I can imagine how hard it would be to get something like that passed.
Yeah, started
through legislation, right?
Well, it was the same thing as for everyone who's conservative and seeing a liberal party come in and change how the taxes work that don't benefit the more well-off people, right?
Yeah.
Same thing, except way more to an extreme in America, right?
Yeah.
Way more extreme out there because people spend their whole life at jobs that have medical insurance. They don't worry about it, or they just pay for their own because they can.
Mm-hmm.
So now the whole idea for them is going from scratch to paying for homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
Not good, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that worked. I think people who already had insurance and stuff like that, they
still could keep their insurance.
Yeah. But I mean, I think in the end,
everybody had to get in. Everyone had to be covered, basically.
Yes, you had to sign up for it.
If you had it, you were fine, or your work would be paying for it. Mm-hmm. Same shit, right? Same as us. There's a lot of companies here that cover your BC medical costs.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
But if you're not working,
or give you extended, like if you're in a union, right? Like I have all whatever extra stuff, which 100%. It comes in handy, man. I couldn't even imagine, if I was this 7 months or 6 months that I've been off, I couldn't even imagine if I didn't have coverage, if I didn't have wage indemnity.
Think about all the people in the States that have kids that can't afford, having a baby in the States costs over $20,000.
Yeah.
If you just imagine you're a broke kid.
Yeah.
living in the hood,
Yeah.
get pregnant, and then all of a sudden you got a medical debt.
Well, I do think that there are places they can go where it is free. And I think that there's something in the law where you come in, they have to treat you, but they basically just have to get you to the point where you can walk out of there and so basically they're going to have the baby.
You're doing it on your own.
They're going to make sure the baby's okay, give it however long, and then they're going to boot you right out the fucking door.
It's wild.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine? And that's, again, like, that's what gets me to this, like people here who bitch about what we have.
Yeah.
And it's not enough. Yeah. And it's like, I get it. You go to the hospital, there's
so
a wait.
much.
I get it. Oh, like people just, people feel like they aren't. I don't get it, actually. I don't get it because even when I go to the hospital and I have a 2 or 3 hour wait, I'm not pulling out my wallet at all.
Thousands of dollars.
And they're still
to have
treating
a cold
you
treated or a flu treated, right?
Exactly. The thing that bugs me is, like, and I deal with this with my knee, is that they don't treat you. They're quick to, or they're slow to send you for testing sometimes. Like, there's no reason I shouldn't have gone for an MRI the day I hurt myself, or the day either the first day I went to the hospital because I went the next day, or the day I went to the doctor for the first time after that first day a week later.
When I had back surgery too, it was the same thing. I went to a doctor. He did some flexibility stuff. You know, my legs were numb. My legs were completely numb. He's like, all right, let's give this 6 weeks.
Yeah. Send me for a fucking MRI, man. It's gonna, like, I get it, they're expensive, but fuck, it took me 6 weeks before I paid for my own MRI. Yeah. And then, like, it would have saved me so much fucking money.
Time.
I'd 100% be back to work already.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, and I ended up paying for my MRI because they wouldn't send me. And it's like, I don't know. There's no reason they should have. I heard pop in my knee.
Yeah.
Like, it hurt for like, a doctor should know what happens when you tear a ligament.
I don't know. I agree.
It just bugs me. That's the only part about it that bugs me. But as far as, like, our medical system and having to go to the hospital and be treated and da-da-da, I mean, I have nothing to complain about.
We got it good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You compare, and the same when you hear all these people saying that we shouldn't be accepting refugees because look at our homeless, or whatever it is they're saying. It's like, number one, 25,000 people in a country of 30 million, that's fucking peanuts. That's nothing. It's not going to change the benefits that people are getting. I still think
it's a fucking lot, bringing them all in, and, like, you know, all the testing they're going through is all funding. Yeah. I mean, like, yes, we're spending money, but their lives in Syria are fucked. So I get it. Yeah. I get it.
They're living in...
I'd still love to see the money going somewhere straight to Canadians.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like they say, I mean, what else are they going to do? And if I was in that boat and somebody just told me to fuck off, I wouldn't be very happy about it. So
no.
I mean, it's yeah, I don't know. It's kind of one of those bittersweet things. It's nice to help, but there are a lot of people in our country that still need help.
Here's my problem with the homeless argument and how the money. I'm sorry. Like, I know that, like, they never should have closed down Riverview, right? That needs to be reopened. You need to help the people who have issues. Yeah. Because there are a lot of them who are on the streets. Yeah. But a lot of them can help themselves. And that's the thing that bugs me about that argument, is that where we live, if you want to succeed and you want to make something happen, you can make it happen. You just have to work hard. You have to, I know, and it's easy for someone like who, you know, I grew up with a good family, but we struggled when I was younger. Yeah. You know, my parents made it work. And I think that if you want to make it work these days, you can make it work. We have every opportunity to do what we want to do with our lives, basically, to make a good wage, to live comfortably. These people don't have that. Yeah. And that's the part that pisses me off.
That was the only hard part. That was kind of the whole start of that homelessness downtown, was Riverview closing out, and
thousands
of people, right?
I heard they were going to reopen it, though. I wouldn't be surprised with Trudeau in. I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't understand finance enough to, like, how much it costs to operate versus how much tax revenue they're going to get out of the people that they're paying to work there, and, you know. Yeah. But you definitely, I mean, the whole, like, stimulate the economy. Like, I've always wondered how.
That's a good place to
Yeah.
fucking open back up.
Yeah.
That would get hundreds of jobs.
I've heard that.
I
have heard, actually. I should look that up. I've heard
hundreds of jobs, plus you'd be helping thousands of people. You know, that kind of seems like a win-win.
So we were just watching the fights for tonight before we came in here. Fuck, they're just going hard this weekend, and you're like, aren't the fights tomorrow night? Isn't the McGregor Aldo fight tomorrow?
Like, and I scrolled through my phone to see if he meant to do the podcast tomorrow. I was like,
holy
fuck, am I driving out here for no reason right now?
No, I went over to Adams last night. We watched. They were fights last night. 35 fights in 3 nights. Like, they are really, I think. They're really trying to capitalize on the hype for this McGregor-Aldo fight. They want to get a lot, because there's a lot of up-and-comers that are, like we were talking about, Sage Northcutt, Paige VanZant, who lost. But, I mean, if you can find that fight online, fucking watch that fight, man. 5 rounds, 2 girls, 115 pounds, giving everything they have. And just, I've said that when we were talking during the fight, it just made me, like, all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I just had this kind of like epiphany, like, I want to be in a fight. Like, I want to train for a few years. I want to either boxing, jiu-jitsu. I think it's something everybody should experience. Yeah. Like, when you see that, I just think it's something that will humble you.
You didn't have enough hockey fights over your years?
I only had like 1 or I think I had 2. I've had 2 hockey fights.
Yeah.
I fucking smoked both guys.
You definitely learn a lot about yourself from fighting people. I can attest to this.
But there's a big difference between a hockey fight or even like a hockey fight where it's literally like it's over in like 20 seconds most of the time, right? But you look at I was thinking like a jiu-jitsu, a boxing match. I think those would probably be the only 2. I don't think I would do like an MMA fight. I mean, you need to know a lot. But boxing, I think after a few years, you could do an amateur fight against someone of the same caliber. Mm-hmm. Jiu-jitsu, you could be like a brown belt or something. And I just feel like that would be something that would be beneficial to everybody, to really see what you're made of, to really push yourself. Yeah, I work out hard, I go swimming, I try and do laps as fast as I can, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But it's not the same. I mean, you're in a position where you're trying to avoid being hurt, and you're trying to hurt someone else or win the fight, whatever. You're not really trying to hurt the person, I guess. You're trying to win. Unfortunately, you're hurting the person by winning. But you're really gonna get to a point where you want to crack. You're gonna get to a point where you want to give up, and that's where you're gonna find out really what you're made of.
For sure.
So it's something, I don't know, I was thinking
Fight
about.
Or flight, right?
Yeah. So once I get healed up, I'm really gonna look at either getting into boxing or jiu-jitsu. I've been thinking about jiu-jitsu actually for a long time. I think that'd be really cool to do, but with my fucking well, it's not even that. It's the fact that I'm so unflexible. Oh. Like, I just feel like jiu-jitsu is gonna ruin my body. Yeah, that's true.
Be a good thing for your health overall, probably.
Yeah,
that was always. We used to do training years ago at the Reflex gym there, and that was, it's a full body workout. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing that I realized when we were doing it is. When you get going, man, your whole body is sore, and you get sore in places you didn't even know.
This was in what?
In Langley there.
No, but what were you?
We would just do any sort of MMA stuff. There was a guy there that a guy named Todd ran Langley Jiu-Jitsu Club.
Yeah.
And he would take a bunch of us in a back room there, and everybody would just kind of go at it for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Like full on punching?
Well, no punching and stuff. No, it was mainly
just grappling and
but
stuff
then,
like that.
We'd have sparring, and there was other guys, Tyler Johnson.
They put on helmet and...
No? Just mouth guards and
just mouth guards, gloves?
Yeah, it was good times. It's a good kind of workout, right? It's... it's like going outside and doing an activity for fitness opposed to just lifting weights.
Yeah.
But like the cardio you need,
Yeah.
Take your cardio you need for going for a sprint.
Yeah.
Think about a full body sprint. You're using all your muscles, not just your legs while you're running.
Swimming.
If you're
Same
throwing
thing.
punches. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of swimming.
Swimming's really good.
When I started really trying and get keep my cardio up after I hurt myself, you want to feel out of shape? Try and swim like 4 laps in a row. Oh, yeah. It's like just exhausting.
We used to do a ton of swimming after I had back surgery.
Yeah.
And that was it's something I just love doing for a workout. It's just, it definitely helps your full body, right?
It's good. Go to the gym. I'll go to the gym. I'll work out my legs and all that stuff. And then I go down, and on my leg days when I'm, because I doing like all the stuff to rehab or whatever, go down and then swim. Does the upper body, because if I try and work out upper body and then go swimming, I won't even finish a full lap. Like it's
you kind of got to do it just on a swim day.
But that's what I love about. Have you ever worked out with kettlebells?
A little bit, not like a full workout.
Yeah, that's the beauty. Like that's what I try to. I was almost lost when I started working out in the gym again, because I don't do a lot of those regular bench press or dumbbell stuff anymore. I just use kettlebells and do full body workouts, because you realize now there's this trend or whatever, this push towards functional strength, right? Yep. And I don't know, if you get the chance to work out with a kettlebell, you got to look up the exercises. You got to make sure you're doing them right, because you can hurt yourself pretty easily. It's like the same way with any workout.
You're probably doing more like movements where it's not your regular exact bench press. You're functional. It's more functional for your body moving, so you could do some damage to your ligaments if you go too heavy too fast or something. Right? Exactly.
I mean, I've tweaked something in my back just lifting it to whatever it is, but I mean, you just gotta warm up properly, and it just takes time. And that's the thing, everybody's always in such a rush. Even when they're working out, they're just working out, eating everything. You're just trying to get done, get to the next thing. It's unfortunate. That's where I like these things that are now out. Like I did the cryo chamber. I don't know if you've seen any of that stuff.
I was asking about how much those cost.
Well, that was the float tank. That was different. The cryo chamber is like you stand in it, and it's like minus 180 degrees Celsius, and it's just like, well, the one that's full body that you're in a chamber is better, but they don't have one around here. This one, you're just in this like tube, and then it like raises you up so your head's out, because it's nitrogen. You'll just pass out. You'll be out cold. And so they pump it into the thing, and they just free, like your body just goes for 3 minutes. You're in the minus 180.
What does that feel like?
It's cold. Really fucking cold. But you jump, man, you are invigorated when you get out of that thing. Yeah. And it's really good. It's like ice bath, right?
Yeah.
I don't know which one I like better. I had an ice bath today. I don't know which one I feel like. They both give you like a jolt of energy, really clear head when you get out of them. Right? Yeah. But they're both pretty good. But unfortunately, the cryo thing's like $50 a pop for 3 minutes. I can do this for free. In the ice basically tub, just water. Yeah. I keep a bunch of containers full of ice and
dump them in.
Yeah. There. But the float tank, that go $50, $55 I think usually for an hour and 15 minutes. It's really cool, man. It's this time I did it the first time I had an edible and then did it, and I had a low dose. I had very little bit because obviously I didn't want to be freaking out. Yeah. But it's really calming. It's really good if there's.
It's like a form of full body meditation, isn't it?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. But it's also, I mean, when you're on an edible, it's psychedelic.
Things that you'll be thinking about.
It's also, you're like, man, I was seeing, like, you're seeing colors and shapes, and like we are seeing some faces, and
you kind of be doing that anyways without an edible in one of those things, aren't they?
You'll see certain, like, your eyes. When I did it without, the first time I did it with nothing. The second time I smoked, and then this time I had an edible. The smoking in this one were pretty similar, but without, you'll see like your eyes, because of their adjusting, because it's completely pitch black. You can't see anything. You'll see little kind of flashes of stuff, but not a lot. Yeah. And I fell asleep, I think, the first time for a bit, because you kind of have to learn how to do it. But with the edible, your mind just kind of goes where it needs to go, if that makes sense. Things that, all the excess noise, anything that can distract you, anything that, when there's something you need to figure out, it's so easy to be distracted. It doesn't matter, the TV, the music, anything, your own body pain, anything. When you're in there, you don't feel anything. It's silent, it's pitch black, the water's body temperature, you don't feel anything, and then you just kind of, eventually it's like you're floating in space. It's the future of bedrooms, hey? Yeah, they're expensive though.
Yeah.
Like I seen this one thing where they're like a tent, but if you're gonna do it, you want like a good quality one that's got good filtration and all of that stuff. But you come out of that, man. I leave that. I don't feel. There's nothing that makes me feel more calm, more relaxed, more just at peace. Basically, you're just like nothing can bug you anymore.
I was just reading a book. It's called 10% Happier, and it's by this guy Dan Harris that worked for. I want to say CNN for a long time, and he just talked about like the stress of people's lives, and especially now with like a growth in technology and how much more like we're distracted by things every single day, and you never like, even when you sleep, people have a hard time sleeping because they're just thinking and thinking and thinking and can't pass out. And learning how to take some time to meditate is, if you go to the gym, work out your muscles, you can read and train your brain, but if you never turn your brain off and let it relax, that's going to lead to a ton of health issues in the future, right? Like, people underestimate the power of the brain still.
For sure.
Giving it a chance to relax, and it just talks a ton about how meditation like will completely.
Have you meditated? Have you tried it?
I've never really tried it. I was thinking about it.
Let's try it.
I really wanted to get
before
back
bed is a good time. Me and Ashley did it. She got this app because she gets stressed really easily.
I used to, when I was at work, I had a couple of those help you sleep apps.
Okay.
And it would just kind of, you black out the room, turn it on, and it would be music or a voice talking and things like that. And like same thing you said, and you got out of that, you felt good. I'd wake up and have a great sleep and feel 100 times better in the morning than just kind of waking up stressed or exhausted, right?
Yeah, this one, I think it was the same thing. It was like she had this app, she put it on, it would tell you to do a couple things, like feel your body drifting, feel your legs, feel your da-da, and then so you relax, and then it was like, now in your head, repeat this over and over, like find something to repeat over and over for so long, and then after that, it's like, now focus on, and then like eventually you just like, you really do, you go blank, which is exactly you're saying. Every once in a while, you need to
be able to do
now,
that.
You're not going to go blank in the tank.
No.
Blank in the tank.
Well, that's the thing. It takes all the senses away. So.
It does. So what it's good for is that shit that you're avoiding, shit that you don't really want to think about, shit that really might make a difference in choices and things, they come rushing in. Yeah. You can't avoid them. Yeah. They're there. There's nothing that can stop you. I mean, you can open the door if you want, but then you're being a bitch. Fucking sit in there for the hour 15, and it's the same thing. Like I think with like smoking weed, a lot of people don't like to smoke weed because what it does is it makes you realize maybe shit about yourself or about your life or things going on that you don't want to believe or you don't want to really think about. Yeah. And that's exactly the same kind of thing that happens in the float tank. You have to face your demons, basically. You have to face the things that you've been avoiding, the things that are pressing in your subconscious that you are trying to,
Floating passes, that'd be a good giveaway.
Yeah, it would. I have another one. I'm going to go, I don't know when I'm going to go, maybe next week. I bought a 2-pack. They had a Groupon right now, so anybody who wants to try it out, go on Groupon. It's called Cloud9 Float Spa. They're awesome. They got a water massage bed.
Where is that again?
Right by Coquitlam Center.
Oh, okay.
Really close.
You know what? I think there was one that just opened up in White Rock, too.
I heard something about Surrey. Just opened one there. I don't know what it's called, and I think there's one. I heard something about one in Abbotsford opening, which would be nice.
I'd like to try one of those, definitely.
But they've been popping up in Vancouver. You see it all the time on the ads on Facebook or so and so likes Cloud whatever phone, which is But I would definitely recommend it for anybody to just try it out. I mean, you might not like it. I know people who did it and didn't, but I would say, again, same thing with, like, I find with people who say they don't like smoking weed. You got to learn how to be high. You have to learn how to float. I did the first time. I fell asleep. I couldn't really get comfortable. Like, it felt weird. I felt kind of tense almost, which you shouldn't. And then the second time I did it, I realized how to kind of let my body just relax. It was like I was trying to hold myself out of the water. I didn't need to. You float. You're not going to sink. So once you kind of learn that, and then at the same time learning
Is there anything that holds you up in there? Or?
It's salt water. So what it is, it's like 700 pounds of Epsom salt, and then just enough water to make it liquid. Oh, okay. So it's so dense
that your body sinking.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like a foot of water, or 11 inches of water, something like that.
I would like to try that.
So it's yeah, I suggest it to anybody. Adam did it once. I think Ashley did it once. She didn't really like it that much. She's kind of a little bit claustrophobic, I think, so that doesn't help.
Be hard. I mean, yeah.
The thing is, though, people, like, right? You can push there's no handle or anything,
so you can open it whenever you want.
You can just push the door open if you start to, and I'm sure lots of people do.
Yeah. Could you just push it open, catch your breath, and then stay in there?
You could, yeah. I haven't. Like I said, the first time I fell asleep, but
did someone have to come?
I again, it's like what I was talking about with fighting. Like I use it as one of those things, like where I'm challenging myself. Don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking finish it. You got an hour and 15. Like the music will start to play. The lights will slowly come on. Like just wait for it to happen. Like don't fucking.
Well, give yourself that time for your brain to turn off.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
Same with the ice bath. Like today, yeah. My physio said I should stop doing ice baths for a little while.
Yeah.
I had one today for the first time after like realizing that wasn't the problem I was having with the knee. And I was sitting in there and fuck, man. Like I got to the point before, because I was doing them every other day, where it was like nothing. Like, jump in the water, fucking sit there, look at my phone, 10 minutes. All right, I'm done, out. I mean, it's cold, but you learn to, like, you get kind of used to it. I hadn't done it for so long. Fuck, man. I was sitting in there. My toes were in pain.
Yeah.
And I was at, like, the 7-minute mark, and I was just like, fuck. I was just like, don't be a bitch. Fucking stay in the tub. 3 more minutes. And then 10 minutes is up, and you're out, and it's like an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I try to do more and more stuff like that. I feel like doing things you're scared of. I'm working up to it.
Trying things for the first time, man.
Like the one thing, have you been river rafting? Like
I've never been before.
You haven't? Would you do it?
I'd do it.
Yes, I got to get over that hump.
You're not into
river
rafting?
Shit out of me.
There's a lot of things like that. I'm more of a heights terrified person.
Oh, okay, so
activities like that wouldn't really bother me.
I would bungee jumping. I've jumped out of a plane. I had my crotch rocket.
I just feel like I'd be the guy that the bungee rope broke.
Yeah.
It'd be like I'd be that one guy where it was like, poor guy.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just something about the water and the rocks and I don't know, man. Even I don't like being underwater. I'm one of those people.
I think when I'm out there, if we should let's go this spring or summer or whatever. But I think once I got in the water and like you kind of realized how vicious it could be, you'd be like a little more scared.
Yeah.
But just kind of like the idea of it doesn't really terrify me. I don't know.
And any of my friends I talk to, they're like, "What's wrong with you? Like you jumped out of a plane.
Yeah.
You went 200 plus kilometers an hour on your bike." Just joking, Mom. On your crotch rocket. But you don't want to go whitewater rafting where like the chances of anything happening are slim to none.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just scares the shit out of me. There's something about I just have this like I plays over and over in my head.
Thing in water,
you fall
man.
out, you hit your head, you're in the water, and you're never coming back up.
Yeah.
You know, or I don't know. I don't know why that's any different than jumping out of a plane and your chute doesn't open and you fucking
that's
splat on the ground.
That's my just vision I have, I guess. Hey,
what's something recently you've done that you kind of forced yourself to do that you were scared of?
Nothing recently.
No.
I haven't really done anything too thrilling, exciting.
No, it doesn't even have to be thrilling. Like, okay, like for me personally, like asking my girlfriend to move in with me scared the shit out of me. That was something that I was like, fuck, I don't know. What if this happens? What about this? What about, like, all of these things go through your head that kind of, I mean, I'd never really even been in a serious relationship before, to be honest. So that was something that freaked me out.
I just haven't done anything like that recently, but maybe I will. And I'll have something for you for the next time we come back.
Okay.
I'll think of something good.
I think I don't know. For some reason, that's been on my mind a lot lately. A lot of that is because of Joe Rogan. The fucking guy makes you feel like a bitch every episode you listen to. He's like, you always feel like you're not doing anything like, productive.
Yeah.
So that's why, like these things like the ice bath.
Yeah.
It's not that it scares you, but it's like
something you gotta push yourself through a little bit.
Do I really need to put myself through that? But a lot of the times the things that are going to benefit you, you're not going to enjoy while they're happening.
It's True. It's true.
I don't know. What have you been? Oh, you don't have Facebook anymore. Fuck! It makes it so hard for me to be like. So did you hear this? Did you see?
I sure don't.
You know
what? I'm gonna get it back because I love doing photography stuff.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get it back and
photography.
I'm gonna kind of seclude my.
Like make it more private or something, or
just make it more family and direct friends and stuff, and you know those people that are on your Facebook that you don't talk to in 8 years. Like I know that's why the point of Facebook is to keep in contact with those people, but I don't know. I kind of just like the seclusion of being without it. And again, like I told you before when I deleted it, just the shit the shit that doesn't even cross your mind anymore, that shouldn't cross your mind anyways.
Yeah.
I just could care less now.
When it's not there, like when
it's not there. I think, you know what, I do understand the benefits of having it, and it's way easier to keep in touch with some family and stuff, and that's part of why.
But you still can. You can make a phone call. You can. You don't need it.
I think people should try and live without Facebook for about a month.
Yeah, just do it.
And if you can't, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge thing.
One of the things, like I said, the only really, if I didn't have this podcast and all of that, I would get rid of it. Same thing. Even like Instagram. I mean, or I just wouldn't go on it as much or whatever. But
there's definitely ways to use it beneficially.
Yes.
And I'd have to say only 10% of the people who use it have figured that out.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is just like.
But again, I think we talked about this last time. Is like people, whatever makes you happy, man. Who am I to tell you what to do on your fucking social media?
Yeah, but then at the same time,
doesn't mean I'm not going to not be annoyed by it.
There's things like that are going to ruin your life. Like if you're a depressed person and you're looking around and looking at all these great things people are doing, you're just going to sit there at your phone. Get off your fucking ass and go do something fun.
But see, that's where when you look at that on there, and then you. Like a lot of the podcasts I listen to or whatever it is, you need either people or some kind of influence in your life that is pushing you to do something. Do something.
I think if your family and friends aren't pushing you enough to accomplish or I don't know. I don't want to sit and look at other people's accomplishments and just be like, fuck, I wish I'm doing that.
No.
You know?
No. And that's self-pity, and that's the same thing like I kind of allude to. I'm really like, have you seen that Shia LaBeouf video where he's like that, like, just do it?
I've seen a couple like clips. If it's put together, but
it's not going to work because the fucking sound's not working there. I'll show it to you after.
I can put it on mine here.
But yeah, if you can find, just have a listen. But what I'm sick of is people bitching instead of doing.
Yeah.
Right. And it's you see all of these posts that are like these like in your face kind of posts where it's like people are trying to demean the other side, whether it's. Fuck, I'm trying to think of the one I seen a little while ago, but it's like that.
It's overwhelming.
It's like that so there kind of mentality.
It's the same thing we talked about with everybody having an opinion on something that they shouldn't. Like everyone makes a fucking meme about anything.
Yeah.
That's the shit that drives me fucking crazy on social media. Like, here we go.
Okay, I'll let you listen to this, and then we'll.
Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it.
He's not wrong, man.
No, he's not. It's just how he's doing this.
And work hard at it.
Would you take him seriously in any other way?
Oh,
if
yeah.
he was sitting down having a coffee?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would.
I'd just be like, shut up.
Because he's saying the same kind of shit that Rogan says.
What are you waiting for?
Just
Do it.
do it. Like it. I don't know. I have a hard.
Real hair.
Do it.
I think so.
Yes, you can.
You know what? I watched a movie.
Just do it.
It's.
Listening to this. This is wild.
Oh, that's it. I think it's short.
Is it?
But I agree. I love what he's saying.
Stop.
But unfortunately, like he made almost. I think a lot of the people benefited from it, but I think more could have if he wasn't like so. I don't know.
I'm gonna start doing that around now to
he
people.
has like
by the way,
T-shirts and stuff.
I
like
want
that
one of those
have
t-shirts.
show him doing all. And anyway, look, it's called Shia LaBeouf. Just do it, or Shia LaBeouf motivational speech for anybody who wants to take a listen. But I mean, you listen to there's the one speech I posted all the time because I think it's fucking awesome, and I don't care if people think I'm in love with Joe Rogan. He has that one motivational speech that he has. It's for that On It supplements company that he's a part of.
Yeah.
And man, I listen to that probably at least once a week. Because he's saying basically the exact same thing that Shia LaBeouf is saying, just more eloquently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's put a lot more thought behind what he's saying. But it speaks to that whole poor me mentality that we see all the time.
It is, man. Like, people are so consumed with everything around them that you just don't get a chance to figure out what you want to do, and you're being so influenced. If you have 1,000 friends on Facebook and 500 of them are at the bar Friday night posting pictures at the bar, fuck, I wish I was at the bar Friday night. You know, like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Read a book. Go to chapter. I don't know. There was another movie we watched the other week that one of my girlfriend's friends reminded me of. It's called Into the Wild.
Okay, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I haven't. I think I fell asleep.
This is a life-changing movie for people. Oh,
Is it the one that...
It's a guy, Christopher McCandless. Like, it was a true
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, he gave up all his possessions. He gave his $24,000 in savings to charity.
Yeah.
And he
was a kid. Like, he was young.
He just graduated university.
Yeah.
He got a degree.
Yeah.
So, I think he was 20-something when he died, maybe 23. But
when he died?
Yeah, he died.
Yeah, he was like, 20...
He had a poisonous... Well, in the movie, I haven't read the book. I was going to go pick the book up, actually. I don't know... I was looking at it as... There's a Chris McCandless website as well that somebody else runs, and they have like all the real pictures and everything from it. But wild movie.
Yeah.
Would definitely recommend people watching
Yeah, I
this
have.
movie.
I think I started watching it one night but fell asleep. But you can't start watching movies. Like, it's not...
It's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's got to be one you want to sit in.
But it's also... It's not... It's kind of slow, right?
It is kind of slow.
Yeah.
But
Like,
some interesting stuff happens. And I don't know, if you're not a person that like really appreciates wilderness and nature and spiritual things and freedom, you might not find it interesting. But for people that soak into that kind of thing, it's probably one of the best movies I've ever seen that relates to shit like that.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it, because I've heard of them.
Yep.
And I've heard, a bunch of again, there's a couple podcasts I listen to where they've brought him up, and they've had actually people on who knew him.
It's wild.
That talked
It's
about
cool.
what he did. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if that's the answer.
I don't know, man. The first time I saw that movie years ago, I was like, this is what I want to do with my life.
Really?
Yeah. But it's kind of the same as it's to one extreme of people going traveling and living life that way. You know, and you're getting your experiences and coming
Traveling
back.
on a bus or just backpacking.
This guy gave up everything, and he basically only worked to get to where he wanted to go. And that was, that's a complete revolt against society.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty sweet.
It is, but didn't he like go with like minimal supplies and like really wasn't that prepared? And
he did fine, I think.
He died at like a year in, didn't he?
He died because he ate he was in Alaska, and there wasn't just enough food for him to hunt. So he was picking wild berries and leaves and stuff, and he had a book about it. But he ate something that was poisonous that caused him to go into paralysis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just got too weak from it. So,
wow.
Yeah, and then there was that bus that just happened to be in the middle, and some guys that were on a moose hunt found him.
That's
found
something.
Him and all his things, right?
I don't know. I mean, I don't have any inclination or any desire to go and live in the bush and be away from modern civilization. I enjoy civilization to a point. But I think, maybe like to do a weekend at least, like a long weekend every year where you go somewhere where you're battling elements or you're camping out in the middle of nowhere.
We tested that out for one night last summer.
Did you? Yeah. How'd that go?
It was good. It was. We hiked those Joffrey Lakes.
Have to kill your own food?
No, we brought some macaroni and cheese and we had a kettle with some gas and stuff. But it was fun. I thought it was something I'm going to be doing a lot more next summer. Is you pack your bag and you go into the bush, and obviously Joffrey Lakes, there's a campground at the glacier at the top, so it was a very low extreme of kind of hiking your way. But that was the first time I'd ever kind of hiked into a campground, and whatever you bring is what you got, kind of thing, right? But no, I'd really like to do more of that, and plus I have some kayaks too. So if there's ever places you could kayak yourself to a campground, I think that'd be pretty sweet to get in a little bit of seclusion and enjoy.
Yeah, for so many years I was I don't want to fucking hike. I don't want to do
it's the greatest, isn't it?
No, I still haven't. The like the grouse grind stuff like that. I'm like, I don't have any fucking desire to do the grouse grind. I get it. I get that it's like an accomplishment. But for me, I would way rather play a football game
or ice bath,
play hockey or something.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just mean something active, something I'm getting a workout, and where you feel like afterwards you've accomplished something. Like I get it, but I don't know. I just feel like climbing up a mountain. I don't know.
You don't have appreciation for nature stuff like
that?
I
do. I definitely have appreciation for nature, but we live in Vancouver. I work on sky rises. I can see it all from the top of a fucking sky rise.
It's totally different, though.
It is.
Me and Mitchell climbed to Flora Lake there, and that's a 14-kilometer round trip.
Wow.
And it was a big hike, but there's one part when you get... Before you start going over the peak to Flora Lake, you can get up and you're just on this big open ridge that just overlooks Chilliwack Lake.
Okay.
And you just sit there and enjoy.
Chill.
Yeah,
bring a couple beers or whatever.
No, it's a hike, man. You're enjoying
hike?
nature, not a beer thing.
It's... Fuck,
I have a very strong appreciation for being outside and doing stuff like that.
Yeah?
And it's just, like, we went on a ton of hikes this summer, and I don't know, man. I just find something super relaxing about being outside on a nice day and doing things like that.
I love being outside on nice days. I feel...
For you in like a float tank,
yeah,
just being outside and having fresh air and hearing nature, I love that shit.
I love that as well. There's even for me, like just like today, nice. It was sunny. It was a nice day. Being inside, I feel like a bum.
Yeah,
like get the
fuck. Same thing. We woke up this morning.
You got shit to do. I didn't have to. I went for a bike ride.
Yeah,
right. That was it. Did my bike ride, worked out, and then I didn't really have time to do anything else outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I feel like when it's nice out and it's not raining or whatever, get the fuck outside and do something. And even nature, and like I like camping. I like being out. I mean, I don't mind camping. I'm not a huge fan of it because I don't feel like camping's really camping anymore. What you're alluding to is a bit different. You're really
we camped once at Deer Lake this summer, and we took things, and we had a barbecue, and we slept in tents. I didn't sleep in a mobile home or anything, but we took the kayaks and kayaked across the lake and like just hiked around the bushes and had a bowl of champagne and kayaked and played some beer pong and that was stuff. It's nice, you're kind of obviously you're bringing things with you, so it's a good time. Yeah. But I think doing the hiking thing, like you said, that's one of those things that's...
I'm going to force myself to do it.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I've said.
I got some good hiking bags and stuff. We should go.
Since I'll have to go with the girlfriend first because she's been hounding me to go since we met. Yeah. And it just was never... It's not something that I get excited to do at all. Yeah. But... more recently, like I said, trying to do these things that I don't like or scare me.
I feel like just knowing you a bit, you'd gain an appreciation for it.
I most likely would.
Yeah.
I think growing up and just being, for so long, I was just like, fuck that, that's gay, I don't want to do that. Yeah. I used to say the same thing about working out. When I was like 18, I was like, I'm not working out. Why do people work out? Fuck that. What's the point? Yeah. And then like 21, I haven't not worked out since I was 21. Like I get antsy now if I go 2 or 3 days without working out. I feel like fuck.
Yeah, you get steam to burn.
Let's go.
Sure.
Let's get something done. But I don't. There's definitely something about that. Like Ashley did the Golden Years. Have you done that one? Like hiked all. It's like you got to sleep overnight.
No, we didn't do
do the whole thing.
That's what I want to do though. We used to go kayaking Alouette Lake quite a bit though.
Okay.
So I'd know where it is, but
kayaking kind of scares me too.
Kayaking's fun, man.
There's something about the water and like being stuck under it.
You're just not a water guy.
And then it like flips over.
The thing about kayaking is like you got to go downstream. You got to go upstream first.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes we went pretty far one way, and then you're like, fuck. you know, we got a 3-hour paddle back to the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just, that's not super enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
That last little bit, your arms and shoulders, you're dying.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a good workout, so you're tired, get a little dizzy on the water.
Yeah.
Sun's reflecting. You're just like,
But then when you look back on that experience,
it's a good workout.
and you remember it, right?
Yeah.
If everything had gone smoothly, it's probably not going to be as memorable.
Yeah.
But when you look back on something that, you know, ended up being a challenge,
Yeah.
you know, it's something that's going to stick with you down the road. You're like, remember that time we fucking kayaked out, and then the current came, we were
stuck.
battling, we got stuck. And, like, that's the things you're going to talk about with your buddies, whoever it was you were with down the road.
Yeah. Good experiences.
Yeah.
Nature, man. Love it.
We far too easy nowadays go the easy way.
Well, you know what the biggest thing that, like, I realized being in Alberta was, it was like, I came home and I missed all this shit so much. So every time I came back, we were kayaking and hiking.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time. And everyone's always, oh, I love BC so much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when's the last time you went out and fucking played in a forest?
Yeah.
So what do you love about BC? That it's there if you want to use it?
Yeah.
Well, use it, right? Like,
Exactly.
It is. It's awesome.
But I don't think you have to be like an outdoorsman type, like to enjoy BC. I mean,
True.
even just the fact that I could go like in December, yesterday or today, if my knee was okay, I could have gone and played football at the park.
Yeah.
I could go.
Oh, we were golfing last week.
I could
right?
go golfing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Same thing.
Yeah.
That's one of the beautiful things
Weather-wise,
too
yeah.
about this area. Yeah. But even with the podcast, so we'll get back to kind of doing things that scare you. You know, I actually sometimes have to force myself to get new people on, to try and find new people to become on, because we get stuck in that comfort zone. I get stuck having Harder or Adam or you or whoever it is that I've had on quite a bit and that I know I'm not going to have to force the conversation. I'm not going to have to be, you know, always
when we get
always
Matt,
pushing
when we
it.
get shit-faced here with Matt Vanette for a podcast.
Yeah.
We'll force him to push the issue.
Yeah.
It'll be Vinny's choice.
But that's what I
Okay.
mean, right? Like you're doing something that kind of scares you, and it could be something as simple as that. For
It
me.
is tough, 'cause
having someone on that I don't know how they're going to react to the podcast, or whether we're going to have a really good rapport.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still going to want to have like a 20-minute talk with you before we get started.
Yeah.
Just to bounce some stuff at least. But yeah, it
Should do it like blind auditions, man. Like,
well,
open your doors, turn it
also,
on.
again, like we were talking about before, like you were saying, to do these things to try and get the name out there, get the podcast out there. I have that same problem I have doing that kind of stuff. Is the same problem I have with like asking people to come on that I don't really know, or that I might, see them on social media or think they have some good views, or some views that are against what I think, that it would be a good conversation.
Yeah.
But I feel like just asking someone randomly to come on my podcast that gets 50 YouTube views, if it's a good one, right? Like
we had 47 on ours.
Yeah, that was a good one. On average, you're getting between Podbean around 50 people.
I saw some years had like over 100 and
Well,
300
Jimmy's
there.
was like 400 now.
Yeah.
I had another one that's over 100. I've had and then Sarah from who was on Big Brother, she's come on a few times. They get, a lot of it has to do with the person who comes on,
Well, I
whether
think if the other
they promote it,
Yeah.
or even just whether the people they know are the type that are going to want to take a listen and see how it is.
Yeah, like
right?
I'm sure if I still had Facebook and shared these, that
you
get a
could
couple
get
more people
yeah.
listening to
and
it,
a
right?
lot of people, like I can see on YouTube, at least, not so much with Podbean, but I can see how long people watch, how on average how much people watch and stuff. Most people, you're going to get like maybe 20-25 minutes out of it, which that's awesome. I mean, that's better than
I think the biggest problem with listening to them on YouTube, like on a phone at the gym,
Yeah.
is once you open it, you can't close it.
Yeah.
I can't minimize the
well,
screen.
that's why
and
I
carry
have it on iTunes as well, where it's just audio.
Oh, fair enough.
So you don't have to watch it. It is on iTunes.
Okay.
And on Podbean, which is the site that I use to post it.
Oh, okay.
But-
I didn't know that, but I'll start watching them there so I can minimize it.
Yeah, then you don't have
Oh,
to
fair
keep it
enough.
on. But
That
I
was-
just do the video because I think for some people they enjoy watching. Like when I can, some of the podcasts I watch, I like sitting and actually watching and seeing mannerisms and the way facial expressions,
talk.
because it also really, you can see if maybe someone's bullshitting,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like I watched an hour and 20-minute one today on. I mean, we don't really got time to fully get into it, but I don't know if you've ever heard of Milo Yiannopoulos. He's just kind of bursting onto the scene. I don't know if they'd call him a journalist, but he's very smart guy. He's this British dude. He's homosexual, but he's very against this feminist movement. And he's actually, the beautiful thing is that it's very difficult for a guy to try and battle a girl or debate a girl about feminism because you're that male privilege, right? So this guy who's, for some reason, because he's gay, he's able to have these conversations more so, right?
Yeah.
And it's odd that it's like that. But I mean, I would suggest kind of taking a listen to it. It's I'll send you the link to it anyway. Okay. I'm going to post it on my website as well if anybody wants to see which one it is. But he's very smart. He studies. He has his facts, and this debate was basically regarding feminism and whether, not even so much feminism, but whether is gender equality still an issue?
Yeah.
And his point is that the pendulum's swung past now. Like, in his opinion, and this is something that I don't know if I think we're pretty equal, in my own opinion. But to him, he thinks white Western women are by far the most privileged class or party that has ever existed in the world.
Yeah.
Ever. Right now, I'd have to look at a lot of these studies he talks about and really get an idea of where he's coming from with this stuff.
Yeah.
But he makes some excellent points, and I kind of want to send that and see if, like, say, Lauren, who is on, or someone else, a girl's point of view or someone else's point of view, because we have our own biases, like we were talking about before. So when I watch that video, I might see or react or hear things differently than someone else.
Yeah.
I didn't think the girl even was on the same level with him as far as I think he
having
destroyed her. I think he had way better points. I think she just kind of, most of her stuff was, I think this, I think that, well, I don't think that's right. Well, maybe if you look at that study, but in the people that I've met, like, and a very anecdotal, whereas his stuff was all fact-based. Again, I would have to actually check his facts, but he comes across very cocky, almost very. I don't know how he'd have to watch the video.
Probably knew. I'll take a look, but he probably just knew the points he wanted to make.
Well, he just has these mannerisms that kind of make him look like he thinks he's way better than other people, right? Yeah. That kind of, and even I didn't enjoy that part of it. I was like, buddy, you got to figure out, because you're not going to win a lot of people over when you
come across like that.
But when you just take what he's saying and what she was saying, it was very difficult. I would find it very difficult to take her side, and I tried. That's what I do when I watch these now.
Yeah.
Whatever my personal perception is already, I try to take the other side, because I think that forces you to really hear what they're saying. Yeah. This is a new thing. I never used to do this. That's for damn sure. But I would look. I would definitely take a listen. There's another guy, but he's a little more out there, called Gavin McInnes, and he just says some really outlandish stuff. Like, just.
I feel like a lot of these podcast hosts or whatever they do, they're saying a lot of things just to get the ratings or maybe
this wasn't
attention.
A podcast. This was in a university. Brisbane, I think, university. So they actually had like a debate
there.
They had a debate. They had a guy who was like in charge. He stopped people when they were cutting off, let people finish. So it was actually really well done.
Yeah.
And they had questions asked, and
it was just about feminism.
So a lot of the questions were like the pay gap. Is there really a pay gap? Is the pay gap, gender equality in general? Are women, do men have an easier time getting jobs, or like just kind of these kinds of questions?
Yeah.
And in my opinion, he fucking just, it wasn't even close. But again, that's my own. That's why I would like to get a couple other people to take a listen or to watch it. I don't know. I think you'd have to watch it on YouTube. It's not a podcast.
I'll check it out for sure.
I'll definitely send you the link, and I'm going to put it on my website as well, so that if anybody listening wants to take a listen. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on? Anything else that's
these MLB contracts?
Sorry?
The MLB contracts.
Oh yeah, you're just livid over this stuff.
They fucking piss me off. I just think it's bad for baseball. Guys making over $30 million a year.
Yeah,
it's retarded. It's just so stupid. You know, you got a team like the Dodgers. Last year, Greinke's making $25 million a year, and he opts out of his contract to take $34.42.
Yeah,
when he's got a career 3.35 ERA.
Yeah.
So
for people listening who don't really follow baseball, a 3.35 ERA it's pretty average. That's a good solid pitcher.
Good solid pitcher.
But it's not the stats
over a career.
You
know, and that's the thing he's kind of done. He's been one of those guys. You see a lot of guys in contract years where they have, you know, and Greinke led the league in ERA at like a 1.6 last year, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But this isn't something he puts up on a consistent year-to-year basis.
What were his stats last year? Because I thought he was right in the running last year as
well. For Cy Young.
Yeah.
Last year he was 1.66 ERA and like a .082.
No, I mean the year, not this like the year.
Oh, the year before.
Prior.
I think he had pretty good numbers, but not he wasn't touching those.
Okay.
I can look it up here real quick.
Yeah. And it's the same Price's contract, whoever these guys are.
It's just bad for baseball for these contracts to slowly inflate. And it's every year you're going to see whoever the best player is going to take.
Whoever's, yeah.
They set a lot of the line when they sign these.
But that's how it works. Every year, it's going to go up. It's
just going to keep growing until you run into a strike, and it's just going to be unfortunate, and people are going to be miserable. But
as a team like the Dodgers, like you'd think they would have figured out by now that this isn't working for them. They keep getting knocked out in the first or second round with like the highest payroll in the majors.
Yeah, they're not
You look at, it's the same thing when we beat this to death, but you look at the Detroit Red Wings, you look at the Cardinals in baseball, you look at the Patriots in the NFL.
Yeah.
What do all these teams have in common who consistently core, they don't overpay, they like even Brady, the guy's making $9 million a year. He's like fourth on the team.
Yeah.
If Brady was off that team, they're not even close to making the playoffs.
Not a chance
this year.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough because I get you've battled so hard, some of these guys, and you've basically given up a life to be where you are, and you want to be compensated. But how much do you really need? How much money? It's so easy to say sitting here in my $170,000 apartment, but how much do you really need to be happy and live?
Yeah.
Like,
once
you hit a certain point, you already can buy whatever you want.
I don't get it. It's a lot of it is part of what the team's got to earn. I'm just sorry, I never understood exactly how the Major League Baseball luxury tax works here, and it's explained. So if you exceed the $189 million salary cap, the first year you do it, you have to pay 17.5 of the percentage that you're over the tax back to the league.
Okay.
That gets some of it goes into funds and the rest of it gets distributed. So for the first year you're over, it's 17.5, 30% for the second consecutive year, 40 for the third consecutive year, and 50% for the fourth consecutive year. And I think the Dodgers were over it for a fourth consecutive.
So like the Yankees,
the Yankees pay
Red Sox,
every year
for the most part, they're always over.
Yeah, I'm looking at a graph here. Since 2003, the Yankees have been over it.
Every year.
And last year...
So they pay 50% of what they're over?
In 2005, the Yankees paid $34 million into luxury tax.
Wow.
So they must have been $68 million over the cap. And last year, I think the Dodgers set a luxury tax payback record, which was 43 or 44 million.
Wow.
They had to pay back into it. So
what is the cap in baseball?
189 million.
Wow.
Right.
And you're giving out contracts.
You're giving guys 34 a year.
Man.
You know, that's Those are huge things. But I mean, realistically, so you got a guy. What are Ovechkin? I'm sorry, don't care about hockey contracts, but like, what's a $10 million contract on a 74?
On a what do you mean on a 70?
What's the salary cap in the NHL?
I think it's 60 something right now, or
I think it's 73 or 74.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I haven't. You could be very well right.
Say it's 74, and you give a guy 10 million. That's 13.5% of your salary cap.
Yeah.
So if you have Zach Greinke making 34.42 into 189, that's 18%. So that's still pretty high.
Yeah.
But you know, you get like another thing people don't realize too is like baseball stadiums have 40 to 65,000 seats in them, right?
Yeah, that's the big difference, and they play 162 games a year.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're
making a ton more.
They're bringing in
a ton more for sure.
Let's see, what is the NHL cap? I think 69. Floor is 51, and they're projecting it might go up $3 million next year.
It's wild.
Salary cap set at 71.4 for next year, I think.
Sorry,
no,
it's not that there's a salary cap. It's luxury tax.
Oh no, this year it's 71.4. So, and I like that. I think it makes for more parity. I think the baseball should put a cap in.
What would you
like
think about the NHL
cap.
putting in a luxury tax?
I think a luxury tax, like, okay, so say in the majors, I think a luxury tax is a good idea, but I think you need to cap the luxury. Like, I think there still needs to be a hard number that you aren't allowed to go past.
Yeah.
So that's why I like what the NHL does. They have a floor. You have to spend $51 million, and then you can spend up to 71.4. So, like, if baseball wanted to, they could go. They're gonna have it at, say, 150 is your floor, 190 is your cap, and 210 is your luxury cap. You can't go any higher than that.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah, like there's a perfect. This is from 2013 when like this really started getting to people's attention. But in 2013, there's only 4 teams over 150 million, and only 2 teams over 200 million.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, like they made the big deal with Moneyball in Oakland.
Yeah.
Houston's payroll in 2013 was $22 million.
Wow.
And the Yankees was 228, more than 10 times.
That's crazy.
You know, how do you compete with that? So like
look at this year. Look at Houston this year. Their cap was like, I think it was like 90, maybe? I don't even think it was that.
I don't think you'd ever see a hard cap in baseball, though.
Why?
They just make too much money.
Yeah.
And it would just go back to a players' union where it would have to change year to year, and they'd want it reflected based on.
Oh no, that's what the NHL does. It was reflected on how much money the league makes the year before.
But I think they also do it to avoid strikes.
Even basketball
and lockouts,
has a hard cap, and look at how much they're the highest paid in any league.
You go to 9. No, baseball players are.
Sorry, you're right. They're second.
Talked about this.
Baseball's
the higher paid.
Yeah.
I just don't think you could cap baseball.
No.
It would just cause too many strikes, I think.
No pun intended.
That's a good one. There's just with the leagues and the farm systems and the signing bonuses and the Dominican recruiting and, you know, your overseas spending, your recruiting from Puerto Rico, Cuba, Mexico.
Does that all go to your cap? How much you spend on recruiting?
I don't think that all goes to your cap. No, I think the payroll is the MLB team payroll. Because, you know, you got teams like last year, Boston spent $65 million on Juan Moncada, and he's in the minors. He was
wow.
I want to say he's Cuban. I don't know if he's Cuban or Dominican. I didn't pay that much attention to it. But because they gave him $34 million, that was over their $34 million spending allowed.
Yeah.
They had to put another $34 million back into it.
Wow.
So it totally cost them $68 million just to get this guy.
It's just,
and that's a guy that hasn't played a game of professional baseball in his life, like Major League Baseball, right?
But they just wanted him as a prospect.
That's what you got to pay, like those Japanese contracts. Yeah. They got to give the team. What was Darvish? They had to pay $50 million just to talk to him.
Yeah,
and then sign him to a contract.
Wow. Wow.
You know, like it's.
But you got to realize that these teams, they aren't going to do this if they don't feel like it's going to benefit them financially.
Yeah,
they're not dumb. That's the thing.
It's true.
These teams, they're not dumb.
They have the money to do it.
Yes.
And that's the.
But they're not, like, teams aren't going to spend, regardless of how much money they have.
Yeah.
The Yankees, the Red Sox, whoever it is, they're not going to spend $34 million to get this guy if in their minds they don't see it as bringing whether the guy plays a game or not.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, just the more seats they're gonna, the season
Sell to
tickets,
have
whatever it is they're gonna get out of it.
Yeah.
The way they feel. Anyway, that's it.
Done for time?
That's it.
All right.
We're over, but that's all right. That was a good conversation. So anybody who wants to check out that video, I'm going to post it, ryro.squarespace.com. My Instagram.
Watch Into the Wild.
Yes. Ramblin' Ryan 04 on Instagram, and Twitter is at Ryro 04, I believe. You just
At
have-
Parmography.
At Parmography.
With 2 Y's.
So yeah, everybody have a good weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
I love you more than every single star in the sky. You are the best thing that ever happened to me. Wanna take you home and I'll start making family. You are a damn man, little like a no other. Wanna introduce you to my father and my mother. I'm so damn happy, wanna be my love. I can't wait to get you home and get you under the cover. You, Daniella, be my Cinderella. Won't you come on in around and be my lady? Daniella, don't you remember? Oh, you got me. Daniella, oh, do-do-do-do-do-do. Daniella, oh, do-do-do-do-do. Daniella, oh, do-do-do-do-do-do. Daniella, yeah, I asked your parents for your hand. And ain't nothing but the feet that gonna understand. The same day I asked you be my wife to be. I said, mama, marry me. I said, I promise to love you and treat you right. Give you the proper respect you deserve every day and night. Give you go and go love until the morning light. And I promise we will never, ever, ever fight. Yeah, right, yeah. Daniella, be my Cinderella. Won't you come on in around and be my baby? Daniella, don't you remember? Oh, you got I love you more than every single star in the sky. You are the best thing that ever happened to me. Wanna take you home and I'll start making family.